And welcome to another episode of Up. Nope, that's not off. Nope, Pastor and OC. Yeah,
Nope.
I get mixed up. It's going. It's going. When you do so many of these, we just get mixed up, guys. So
We
everybody
do
knows.
three.
Yeah,
There's only three, and
three
we've been doing.
weekly.
Yeah, but we've been doing it for like 2 years, and
Yeah,
only now have you been getting them mixed up.
yeah. It's only like in the recent months, right? And it's weird because I don't even start off the page. It's you who does it.
Yeah. So
'Cause
you haven't started that show in a year and a
yeah,
half.
mostly because I really like TV, so that's why I start off this show. But of course, I'm Joe. That's Mitch. Follow us on Twitter, Halftime Joe, Mitch692. This is the TV podcast for CBC, talking about TV news, talking TV shows. That's just little, behind the curtains type of thing. Of like sometimes you get mixed up. I remember one of the times I think it was like the ticket where you got mixed up, and you might have said off the page too. I don't know.
I can't remember. I might have done.
I just know that we've done this for so long that you would think it's like just muscle memory type of thing, right? But sometimes you just get slipped up a bit. Get slipped up a bit. So I would say there's nothing really else to say other than Google us. You'll find us on the various social medias: Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Da, da, da. Just Google us. You'll find everything. Easiest and simplest method, because when you have to say you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com, that's just a lot. Just Google us. Super simple. And with that, I think that's going to be it. We're going to be going into the first piece of news, which is going to be talking about John Bernthal's return to The Walking Dead. How,
Pass.
is this? I don't really want to talk about per se of The Walking Dead like the show, but I want to talk to you about kind of when shows do this kind of thing where this character died. John Bernthal did die in season 2. He became a zombie. I think Coral, I call him, shot him, if I remember correctly. I remember specifically that season. So he's dead, and now he's coming back. What other kind of shows do this kind of thing? I'm kind of trying to think.
Oh, plenty of shows have jumped the shark and run out of ideas.
And they're just like, coming back. You're back. We're bringing you on. Especially since now that Andrew Lincoln's leaving, they need a new leading man. Which everybody, I guess that was going to be Norman Reedus. I'm still pretty sure he's on the show. I haven't seen the show in a season. So I don't know if he died within that one season. I'm going to assume no. But it's one of those things where one of the main actors is leaving. They're bringing back somebody who they know can lead the show. I always thought John Bernthal was a better overall actor, or at least to me, like he was a better all like more attractive leading man, like to make me want to go to a show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a little glad that he's coming back, but at the same time, for people who still watch the show, how jarring is it gonna be? Like, did they just straight up run out of ideas, like you said?
Oh, they must have done if they're bringing dead people back.
Yeah, it's such a weird concept about bringing this character back. I had this interaction with CJ from Hype Network on Twitter today. It was like, are they just gonna do Warm Body style? Like he's a zombie and he's just leading team of humans?
I mean, probably.
Unless he had a twin brother, because that thing's happened, right?
Oh, did probably. I bet it's that.
I,
I bet you it's as lazy as that.
You know what? I know there are shows out there that have done that. Like, oh, he had a twin, but you never knew about it because he didn't have one. They didn't write that in, but because they want him back.
Oh, there's been loads of shows that have done that.
Oh my god, it's one of those things where you make fun of it because it's like we all know you're retconning this. Like you messed up, and you know you have to just write the same thing, even though this wasn't in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So it's either that he had like a cousin that looks similar and he's just gonna have a beard, whereas John Bernthal didn't. I don't know, one of those things. I don't want to go too much into the show because I'm one season removed from watching the show, so I'm gonna go back and watch that season. And Mitch doesn't like it, so he doesn't want to stay on this topic too much. But I would say that this is a weird thing to happen, and maybe this is a stepping stone for them to say it's time to get canceled. You know, it's time to end it. It's time to just stop the show. If you still have viewers, there's no reason to stop it. But still, like,
I say, what's the ratings on the show? 'Cause haven't they been dropping?
I feel like they have in my opinion. Let me see. The Walking Dead ratings. Because I know it was the only show that saved AMC. Like, AMC was definitely, like, being saved by this. Here's one from April 17. Okay. So apparently the ratings have been dropping. See, I'm trying to see if there's any. So, this is Easter Sunday, so I don't know if this is a good, because Easter, nobody's watching TV, everybody's out.
I debate if people actually watch TV on Easter.
Yeah.
Because I don't consider Easter one of those holidays where you go out and do things.
Okay.
I've never known anyone do that.
Okay. So. It had 6.3 million viewers. I feel like it used to have like 15 or something.
Yeah, so it's like halved.
Yeah, it's definitely been cut down a lot. So it's just one of those things we're gonna have to keep track of, or at least I will, in terms of story-wise how they're gonna pull it off, and is it this the last season? Season 9 gonna be last season because they're just gonna finish this off like a story or something?
Well, no, because aren't they bringing him back for the next season?
Yeah, that's season 9.
Yeah, so this isn't going to be the last season. Next season might be the last.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like this season, last season 9. My bad.
I mean, it's a bit early to be talking about. Is it going to be the last season?
True, it could be.
It probably won't be.
It could be a Law and Order thing.
Oh God.
Or no, better thing is Supernatural. That's on its 14th season. Whew. 14 seasons. God. I can't imagine that. I used to love that show. Season 1 through 5, arguably one of the best TV shows out there. The rest, because the season 1 through 5 had such this story bookend and all this, like, it had some certain, it reminded me a lot of Fringe, where it had certain moments of Monster of the Week, but it also had this overarching story that was really, like, interesting to me. But season 6 onward kind of like went against that, and of course they just had to keep it going, I guess. So.
I would not put Supernatural in the same breath as Fringe.
Really? Seasons 1 through 5? No, I would argue yes. Season 1 through 5 had such depth to it, in my opinion.
No, Fringe is... that's a disservice to Fringe.
I still haven't seen that 5th season of Fringe. I need to go back and watch that
good.
one. I know the 4th one was really good because that was like the bookend. That was the actual end, and I think 5 was like explaining something that they didn't really.
Teased. 5 was just wrapping every like loose end up.
Yeah. They were explaining something that they teased in season 4. I remember.
Yeah.
Because there was like a character that came back. You're like, where do you come from? And then they explained that in 5. It's still such a really good show. I remember getting into that show, and I thought I was going to hate it from the first episode. I was like, man, this doesn't seem that cool at all. It seems very dated because of the sets and everything. But
I remember watching it religiously, and then they were really weird over here with showing the seasons.
Yeah.
Because you'd have half of it, and it just stop, and then it'll come back. And you'd never see it advertised. So I just stopped watching it because it was never on. And when it was on, it was like halfway through the season. So it's like, okay, I'll watch it eventually, and then just binged it all on Netflix. Thank you, Netflix.
Yeah, to me, that was one of the first few shows that I binged on Netflix. That, Prison Break, 24. I had Netflix in like 2010 or something, 2011, I want to say. 2010 probably, and it was like those 3, Dexter. Those were because I was able to watch those shows because of Netflix. Streaming really saved kind of a bunch of these shows in terms of not in terms of ratings or whatever like that, but in terms of fandom, I want to say, because more fans started gravitating towards these certain shows because of the streamings like Netflix.
I mean, it helps, but
yeah, I mean, not like it saved like nobody was watching these shows, but it definitely brought a lot more people on. And there are certain shows that just missed that Netflix, where if they would have been on air for like a couple years later, it would have been a banger on Netflix, but they just missed it. Like Friday Night Lights, that just missed Netflix. And
do you know what would have been really good on Netflix? Reaper. I don't know if you ever watched that.
Is that the one where a girl is a Reaper?
No, it's a guy and he works in a DIY store and he turns out to be the son of the devil.
Oh, let me check.
And then the devil's like, you have to go catch these demons with these random objects that I'm going to give you, like a vacuum cleaner.
Oh, is it, this says Tuesdays on the CW.
No, it was cancelled years ago.
Oh, okay. So this was on the CW though, right?
I don't know. We haven't got a CW over here.
Oh, because it says
It was on E4 for all those people in the
this.
UK.
This one says right here on his 21st birthday, Sam discovers his parents sold his soul to the devil before birth. This is probably not that one.
No, I don't think he didn't sell his soul to the devil. He was his parents made a deal with the devil.
Yeah.
Reaper. It was.
There's a Reaper in 2015. There's one in
No,
2007.
it was on the CW. Huh.
Yeah, see, that's the one, right? Yeah, I was looking at it. That guy looks like Jack Black, but he's not.
Yeah, a lot of people say I look like him in college. I was like, thanks. I'll take it. Compliment. He's funny as fuck.
Now he's a bounty hunter for the devil.
Yeah.
But
it was so funny. It was so funny. Didn't last. Oh, it did last 2 seasons. That's interesting.
Speaking about the devil. That's wait for later. But going on this show though, real quick, we'll see. So, is there any other TV shows you wanted to bring up that like you brought up, you used to watch, like Reaper? I never heard of that show.
I mean, why would I bring up TV shows I used to watch?
No, because like Reaper, and it's like we just go on. Oh, this was the one, Dead Like Me. That was one. Have you ever
Dead Like Me?
Did you hear about that one?
No.
I think it was this girl who, yeah, something like that. Because she was like a clerk or something, then she became the Grim Reaper. But going on to the next piece of news, we are going to be talking about the Marvel television co-head leaving in the company. This one, you know more about. This was new to me.
I mean, I don't know much about it. All I know is that he's left the company.
This was new to me. I didn't even hear about this. To be fair, yeah.
He's one of the people in line. Yeah. Or, it's him and Jeff Loeb, or it was him and Jeff Loeb. They were the two. You look at any Marvel TV show credits, his name is on there. And it's either Jim Corey or Jim Chory. I don't know how you pronounce the second name. It's Chory.
Corey?
To me, it should be Corey, but I don't
Corey,
know.
Yeah. I don't know if you say Chory. That's kind of.
So that's why I didn't say well.
Yeah.
Chory just sounds weird to me, but
yeah, me too. But let me see. So with no new greenlighted Marvel shows or pilot currently in the pipeline, we hear Corey felt it was a good time to leave. Well, that's interesting. That him dropping that, like, no new greenlighted Marvel shows or pilot currently in the pipeline.
But we know that.
Yeah, so there's nothing besides it. Just Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. still going and some of the other stuff.
Well, you got Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You got
Cloak and Dagger. I guess we're calling it.
Jessica. You got Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist. Runaways, Cloak and Dagger, Legion, The Gifted.
So, but the Secret Wars, that means that's like not even coming soon, because if they say there's no pilot.
I mean, that just needs to find a home. No doubt it'll be on the Disney streaming service. I don't see why you wouldn't put it on there. Yeah. No, but still, that's 10 shows.
They already announced something for the Disney streaming service, like an anime show.
I don't think they've actually announced anything.
They did though. They did.
Wait.
It was, what was it called? It was like Timmy, something like that. Let me see. Disney streaming service. I remember seeing this article about, like, they announced, like, this animated series. I think it was an animated series. It was pretty recent. It was like the last couple weeks. Let me see. Past week. I hope I'm not making this up. I swear I saw it at the Disney streaming service. Oh, High School Musical going on the streaming service. Yes.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
If it hasn't got what's the name, Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens, what's the point?
Yeah, facts.
What's the point?
Animated show. I'm looking for this, but speak a little bit more on kind of Marvel television, right? Because we're loving Cloak and Dagger. Runaways is good.
Yeah, we'll get to that later on.
Apparently, Luke Cage might be.
Luke Cage, I've heard mixed reviews.
Yeah,
like, IGN's giving it a 4.5, but other people are giving it like 9s.
Yeah, some people are giving it very, like, mixed reviews, though. Like, it's still kind of the same thing as the first one.
Yeah. Cause I know IGN's all just like, oh, it's struggling without Cottonmouth. And it's like, yeah, but it's different series. Like, move on from Cottonmouth.
Does that go to just the character of Luke Cage, of how he's never really been able to hold up his own series? Like, you mentioned that before, haven't you?
Well, I probably have. Maybe not on here. But, he's not the
It's
best
just facts.
character.
It's just, you don't have to say like,
No,
it's
but
just
it's like,
facts.
you get the Luke Cage like defenders. It's like I don't want to say he's a bad character. And the
Well,
defenders
he's
were
just
not.
not a sellable character because apparently people are not buying his comics. That's why he's never really had more than one couple 6-issue series.
Yeah, but then again, it's like any character can be sellable. I don't like saying that. Oh, he's a bad character.
Well,
It's
yeah,
like,
they
no.
just didn't do a good job selling them.
He hasn't had that breakout. Heroes for Hire was that breakout, but it's really fallen off.
Isn't that what everybody really knows him from? Him and Iron Fist, like just them being together.
Well, yeah, because no one read Luke Cage or Iron Fist before that.
Yeah, so they put them together. Like no one reads them separately.
No,
just put them together.
It's the West Coast Avengers. No one's reading these books. Put them together.
Yeah.
It's like that then. It's like that now. But no, it's weird. It's got a 94 on Rotten Tomatoes.
What,
so,
Luke Cage?
yeah,
I mean, I'm sure I'll find it enjoyable. I found the first season somewhat entertaining.
And actually, fun fact: IGN is the only place to give it a bad review.
Maybe the guy who reviewed it just didn't like it. Some people just don't
Well,
like certain things.
it's David Griffin of Collider, now IGN.
Maybe he's POC, so you can't really give him the whole you
Well, I
only
mean,
hate
I can still give him the you're judging it for what it's not. 'Cause
No.
it hasn't got a character you liked in it.
No, but if it was a white guy reviewing it and saying that, people would have been like, "Oh, you're just hating on a person of color show." That's kind of like the narrative.
I would just say he's self-hating if that's the case.
I guess you could say that, right?
The self-haters are out there.
Who hates their own ethnicities?
Well, white guilt's apparently a thing.
Oh,
So.
yeah, you're right.
Do you get black guilt? Is that a thing?
I don't think so. I feel like people will tell you no.
I mean, probably.
I'm still looking for this animated show that Disney announced to the street.
I don't. I gave up
I'm
looking for that.
pretty sure I saw it, bro. Oh man, I must have been seeing things. It was like Fell Timmy or something.
What do you think it's called?
Fell Timmy. It's Timmy Failure. That's what it is. Timmy Failure. But where did I see
Timmy Failure.
Disney?
Oh no, you're right. Yeah, I heard this. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. So it's a movie,
Yeah,
and it's gonna be
Tom McCarthy to direct Timmy Failure at Disney. Yeah.
and it's gonna be on the streaming service, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
and
We haven't got any major announcements for that streaming service, but that's what topic are we on again? Oh yeah, it's the Marvel.
yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Some of these topics, you guys, just so you know, they're so very thin that we kind of have to go off of it and just turn it into something else.
Yeah. Back to the actual thing at hand. He's done all the shows that have come out.
Yeah.
Including Humans and Iron Fist.
I mean, cool.
But it's kind of you're in that limbo now. It's like, well, who do you get? How important was he to everything? Is anything going to change from here on out?
I agree. I know what you mean.
But hopefully it doesn't.
Hopefully it doesn't on Netflix side, at least.
Well, hopefully Netflix shows. I'm not speaking for Luke Cage or Jessica Jones, but hopefully, we start to get a bit better.
I actually like Daredevil over Luke Cage, in my opinion. At least the shows at least.
That's because Daredevil's a better show.
Yeah, that's true. You didn't mention Daredevil, so I was like, are you saying
I
Luke
said
Cage is
Luke
better?
Cage. I said Luke. No, I said Jessica Jones, didn't I?
Yeah, you said Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, so I was like, is
Well,
Daredevil
I
not
was
better
meaning
than Luke Cage?
I was meaning. I said those two specifically because we just had Jessica Jones and Luke Cage hasn't come out yet.
It's true.
So kind of like.
Okay. I feel you.
I wasn't speaking for what's already happened.
I'm not trying to back you down, Mitch. I'm not trying to. Those are who got the Twitter thing. Understand that.
Oh yeah. I was like, what are you doing? It's like, oh no, I get it now. It's fine. Yeah.
So, I guess with that.
I hope you noticed what I did on Twitter earlier. Actually.
No, I didn't. Sorry, I didn't.
I made a tweet and I did something just for you.
Oh, I think I saw it. And I was like, you and me, we know each other. You know, I'm half joking, half serious. You're half joking, you're half serious. We all know.
I never take you seriously, Joe. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So, it's funny. But going on to something that I'm super excited for, and that's going to be talking about the new Looney Tunes shorts coming in 2019. I love Looney Tunes. Looney Tunes was probably my first one. maybe Winnie the Pooh and all of them friends and stuff like that. But I remember
Well, I
specifically.
mean, I think everyone started on Winnie the Pooh. To
Yeah.
be honest, I can't remember. Was I ever really a Looney Tunes kid? I was more of an Animaniacs
Dude,
guy.
I was a really big. I remember waking up at 5 in the morning just to watch Baby Looney Tunes. And then I'm
Oh,
younger than you, so I was going to like elementary school and stuff like that.
you mean Tiny Toons?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I fucking loved that show.
Dude, that show was hilarious. I
That show had one of the best intros of the 90s. And in
yeah,
fact, it's one of the most underrated intros now. People never mention it.
I agree.
And it's like, why are you disrespecting the Tiny Toons?
I feel a lot of people don't mention Tiny Toons. They mention regular Looney Tunes. It's like Tiny Toons had like a good run, in my opinion.
Tiny Toons is like one of the only quote baby shows
That worked.
to actually. No, it's not like Muppet Babies or anything
Yeah,
like that.
they're just kind of like. Let's see. Okay. Warner's Animation is bringing back the iconic Looney Tunes shorts in modern day, expressed revamped title Looney Tune Cartoons. These 1 to 6 minute shorts will have a cartoonist-driven approach to storytelling, allowing their own personality and style to come through each cartoon. Looney Tunes are one of the most beloved, said Warner Brothers, play these characters into the hands of some of the best artists in the business and into animated short format that remind many of the time they first fell in love with Bugs, Daffy, Porky, and the rest of the gang.
I bet you this is because the comics have sold really well.
I've not kept up with the comics on them.
You know the crossovers?
Yes.
Because you've been reading those, haven't you?
I haven't been reading the crossovers, but I know of the crossovers.
Yeah, you know, the Batman and Elmer Fudd one did really well.
So there's this one. Each season of Looney Tune cartoons will include 1,000 minutes of shorts with distribution ranging from digital, mobile, and broadcast. I know this is not going to probably be on the DC streaming service because there's like Disney. It's going to have Marvel. It's going to have all this different stuff.
I was going to say, AT&T. Well, it's not actually AT&T yet, but Time Warner, they're going to have their own streaming service, so.
But it's so weird because Disney's going to have all this. Well, I mean, I guess Marvel has theirs, but Marvel's not making TV shows like Disney is on their streaming service. So it's one of those weird things, like I have to pay for the Warner and the Disney one. Like, there's so many streaming services, man. I wish it was just consolidated into one because they're under one. Like, Disney has everybody under them, so it makes sense to put them all in that. And maybe with AT&T, eventually they switch from DC to the Time Warner streaming service, which is going to confuse people. But at the same time, if I can find the Looney Tunes shorts and DC shows there, I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, you probably won't find the DC ones on the Time Warner
You think they're
service.
going to keep it separate, right? They're going to keep all the DC stuff.
Well,
I wish.
why would you have the DC one in that case? Who would ever pay for that service if the Time Warner one?
That's the reason I'm saying of like, maybe this was
and
before...
Actually, I say that, and someone in Discord is going to say something. I know exactly who you are, and you know exactly what you're going to say to that. So let's just stop what you're typing right now, and let's not do that.
See, I would argue that Disney streaming service started off and executed before the AT&T merger.
The Disney service.
I mean, the DC. Did I say Disney? I thought I said DC.
I know. I heard Disney. It might have been DC.
So I said, okay, so DC. Maybe that was executed before.
Oh, I mean.
I think the idea is still good.
That merge has been going on for a while.
Yeah, for a good year. I feel like the streaming service has been more than a year.
I think it's been longer than that.
Maybe.
I think they only announced the DC streaming service last year.
Probably. I love this headline.
It's probably in the works for a while, to be honest. But then again, I can't remember how long the merge has been going on for. But
yeah. So, this is pretty cool. I think this is definitely going to bring a lot of people back in terms of nostalgia and be like, oh, I remember this. I remember Bugs. One of my favorite things was always when they broke the fourth wall and stuff. I love that kind of stuff. They're the OGs, wouldn't you say? I mean, there's probably stuff before then, but like I can't remember before then.
What was the other? Those Looney Tunes or something else?
What's
the other one?
Coyote?
Yeah.
My dad used to love that. There's Tom and Jerry. I used to love Tom and Jerry too. Are they all under Warner Brothers? Like Tom and Jerry? Cartoon Network's under Warner Brothers, right?
I don't think so.
Let's see. What was Tom and Jerry under? Because Tom and Jerry was great, and then I think eventually they made a show where they talked, and I was like, yeah, that's not the point.
No, that was the movie.
Okay, that's what it was.
That shit was amazing. I loved it.
I never saw it.
So good.
I'm looking to see who they're under.
It's probably not good anymore. I just remember really liking it as a kid.
Tom and Jerry, original release, 1940 through 1967?
Yeah.
No way! It looked way too good for the 1940s.
Have you seen like the original episodes?
Oh well.
They're real bad.
Oh, here's the Warner Brothers era. This is what I'm talking about. Yeah, so
Yeah.
Tom and Jerry is under Warner Brothers.
But no, what that was something else compared to Looney Tunes, and I can't think what it was. Is it Hanna-Barbera?
Yeah, Hanna-Barbera is under it with
Yeah.
with all that stuff. Flintstones, Scooby-Doo. I mean, they're doing DC Comics based on that, and people. I saw this Twitter interaction of like Daphne. Fred dies. Daphne has a sword. She's like, I gotta do stuff, and then people are like, what? Fred dies. Daphne has a sword.
So isn't that the Scooby Apocalypse or whatever?
Yeah, I personally think those are really cool. I think the Flintstones one is probably the best one. But those like kind of modern takes on them, when I think that a year and a half ago they announced, or they had originally released those, I think those are good ideas, in my opinion. They're working out pretty well.
I'd say that they're working pretty well. They're a bit random, but...
Yeah, I doubt you'll have a TV show based off them, but I'm like, in comics, you're just like, hey, let's try something different.
Yeah, why not?
Alright, going on to trying something different. Netflix has officially saved Lucifer.
Is this trying something different?
A little bit.
Really? Netflix has saved a few shows in its time.
But then it's one of those things where, like, remember Young Justice, and people were like, Netflix save it, and some of those people out there were like, oh, Netflix can't save every show.
I mean, Netflix did kind of save Young Justice. It's the
They did put it on Netflix, and then people like started watching it there.
Yeah, it's the reason why you're getting season 3.
A little bit, because I remember Greg Weisman.
Well, it's not a little bit. They straight up said it's because people watched it on Netflix that it's coming back.
Do you remember the kind of like let's watch Young Justice season 1 through the weekend? Like that was like an event. That was an actual event. That was cool.
I mean, I think I watched a couple of episodes of Young Justice.
You've never seen it all.
No.
It
never grabbed me. From what I watched, I was like, eh.
It takes I would say it definitely, like, the first and second episode, third episode, they're so weird of how, like, different they are.
I couldn't even tell you what episode or what season I watched, because it was literally just on. I watched it for the 20 minutes or whatever, and it's like, okay, that's Young Justice, that's fine.
I really enjoy it. Some would say the second season is kind of broken in a way where, like, they introduce certain stuff. It's like, they're kind of adding too much, but I would argue, I think it was
really. I always heard people say the second season's when it gets good.
Oh, I've seen some people say it's like they just add too much stuff, and I would argue no. I think it's a long enough season that everything runs around. Plus, it helps that Blue Beetle was the main star of it and kind of his whole backstory.
Yeah, I mean that's why you like, obviously.
No, it's not just that. I love that they put him in there. I really enjoyed the show. You know, it just has this kind of like. That anime feel to it, but it's like it's
a faux anime. It's Western like.
Yes, it's Avatar: The Last Airbender type of stuff. You know, the faux anime type of stuff.
But I think that's part of the reason why I've ever since I was a kid I've always been really picky about animation. I don't know why. Like if I don't particularly like the look of something, I just don't watch it. Like the Batman the animated series, couldn't watch it as a kid. I did not like how it looked. And people fucking scream and kill me for that one.
No, but that's your like. You're not saying you hate it based on the writing stuff. Like you just can't watch it.
No, but like people were like nuts deep in the throat for Bruce Timm art style. Just like I just don't like how Bruce Timm does stuff.
I'm not gonna sit here and say you should watch Young Justice if you don't like the art style. That's your thing. I personally do like their style. I think the CW tried to emulate that with some of their animated CWC shows.
I mean,
all
the DC stuff has the same animation.
There's like a weird, like they try to emulate that Young Justice style, but in a different way, and it doesn't work out.
It's not really emulating. It's the exact same animation because it's cheap.
No, I feel like there's a little difference to it, where it's like
no, because they reuse Young Justice assets.
True,
in
but
the DC movie.
The thing I would argue is like Flashpoint, right? I hated the way
Flashpoint was the last time they actually did their own animation.
I didn't like the whole like everybody's super buff. I didn't like that.
Yeah, that was.
I really didn't like that.
Aquaman looked really awkward in that.
Yeah,
just
Flash. Really? I think everybody looked awkward in that, but going back to Lucifer, I guess. As I said before, love this show. I think it's hilarious, a wild ride for people to try it. I've seen some people on Twitter. I told Mitch before. I've seen people on Twitter already say they're trying it out the first season because it's being saved. I don't know if they're all on Netflix already, like the first 3 seasons. I'm actually gonna go check that out right now. But they are definitely go check it out. At least the first couple episodes, because I always say give it 5 episodes, right, and then see if it's a show or not. I think
It'll be
the first 5 are
interesting
great.
because I don't know what network or where it's shown in the UK.
I don't think they're all on Netflix as of yet. Sad news. You think they would as of like it being announced? You know what I'm saying? They're all on Hulu, which is only in the US. So, you know, you have to find another way of watching the show. But iZombie's finally on here.
Oh no, it's going to be on Netflix in the UK.
There you go.
Oh, it was an Amazon Prime. All right, season 1 was Amazon Prime. So was season 2. So was season 3.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, it's gone from Amazon Prime to Netflix. So.
I would recommend to you to try it out at least the first.
I'll probably
couple
try
episodes.
it out. I've always wanted to give it a shot. I just never got around to it.
I think you'll find the main character, like the actor Tom Ellis, who plays Lucifer. He's straight out of the UK, man. I honestly.
What's his name?
Tom Ellis.
Tom Ellis. I know he always looks like smarmy and slimy.
Pretty sure he's straight out of the UK, if I remember correctly. Yeah, from Wales. That's what it is. Cardiff, Wales.
Say he's Welsh.
Cardiff. Oh, you're one of the. Yeah, I remember you don't like Welsh people. That
Ugh, that's gonna be a problem. That's gonna be a problem.
I think you'll find it funny though. I for some reason I have this weird thing. I know Cardiff for some reason.
I've seen him before. Hold on.
What is he?
Where have I seen him before?
He's pretty cool. I love the kind of like the cast talking on Twitter, like finally, like, you know, we're so glad Netflix is able to save us. Thank you everybody who like hashtagged, you know, and got Netflix's attention or something.
Yeah.
Oh, he was on The Strain? No way. What? He had a 1 episode. No, is he? He had a 1 episode stint on The Strain. That's cool. That's awesome. Shout out to Tom Ellis. Or maybe it's more than 1 episode, but it only says The Strain. So, well, he was on Once Upon a Time? I don't remember him as Robin Hood. Wow. You're starting to remember all these things. What are some of the stuff you remember him from?
I'm trying to find something, but I don't know. I don't think I've seen anything that he's been in.
Merlin. He was in Merlin.
Who was he in Merlin?
He was a character named Senrid. I don't know if that character is more than 1 episode because it doesn't tell you. He was on Doctor Who. Thomas Milligan.
I don't watch that guy.
EastEnders. No Angels.
I don't watch that garbage.
No Angels. He's in a lot of UK stuff before he came to the US.
Oh wow, that was him. What? Jesus Christ, he's definitely in Merlin. Huh. Wow, I remember him now. Yeah, I'll give Lucifer a shot.
Very much enjoyable show. There's like a weird like it's one of those things where they do mystery of the week, but they also merge in like the whole entire like the story in between certain episodes. And you know, Tom Welling is in season 3. I thought he did pretty well in that one, and kind of like the twist with like throughout all the shows, like the seasons. I think they do very well in it. And sometimes you're just like, man, I'd love to hang out with this guy. He's so cool. At certain moments, I'm just like, yeah, he has it all. He is the devil, though, so that's probably why. But it's a weird thing because I remember the first season was like 10 episodes, second season 17 episodes, third season 24. So they kept going up. I always thought they should have kept it at like 10, 11. But they do it like S.H.I.E.L.D. where they do different seasons within the season.
Alright, that's cool.
So they kind of like took it off that, and like season 3 or season 2, I remember there was like one thing in the middle, and then they changed for the second half, and then season 3 does the same thing where it's like first half, second half. So yeah,
that's cool.
Definitely recommend. I'm seeing if there's anything else about this Lucifer Renewal. Netflix at some point stream previous seasons. EPs weren't sure, but TV line here is that yes, at some point seasons 1 through 3 will be available on Netflix. I'm assuming that they mean by like a month before it comes out, like the next season.
It'll be there before.
Yeah, so you can catch up.
Yeah, they're not gonna drop it all in one go. That's just silly.
But not to make Lucifer the big save. So this is like an interview with the executive producers of Lucifer, and that they love the show and they love the fan reaction. So they're like, "Hey, let's go check it out." See, fans do matter. Fans do matter. Don't ever let people tell you the fans don't matter, because the good fans matter.
I was just about to bring something up, but you jumped in front of it. So
Yeah, the good fans matter because Justice got saved in that way. Lucifer, a lot of these shows get saved that way of like the fan interaction, reactions, stuff like that. How's the season 4? Lucifer Netflix episodes run closer to an hour. Oh yeah, that is a thing, right? They're probably gonna still keep 43 minutes.
no, they'll probably give them like the extra 15 minutes, and if they want to take it, they can take it.
So
Like most Netflix shows.
Netflix has commissioned only 10 on new episodes, but season 4 could still go longer if possible. I think they should keep it at 10, but I wouldn't mind having newer episodes of like Lucifer and what he's doing.
Well, I mean, you could do the what Netflix are currently doing. You have like season 4A and season 4B.
Yeah, you're right. I
You
remember.
go here's 10 episodes. That's like a season finale, and then you have the next 10
That's
episodes.
Voltron does that, right? You're right. Didn't you mention that?
Voltron, Kimmy Schmidt, tons of stuff.
I know one other show that does that. It's Teen Wolf on MTV. I always thought it was weird to call it season 3A, season 3B, because I was like, what do they mean by that? But they do mean like 10 episodes, full season. Next one, full different story, stuff like that. I always thought when you have 20 episodes, such 24 episode seasons, that's such a good way of doing it, because you don't expend the story for a long amount of times and it just goes like too long.
Yeah.
So I always thought like keeping it compressed in that way was a good way, because that's when I thought Teen Wolf was getting better, when they started compressing the seasons into like that. And I'm sure a lot of these other shows would benefit. I know the CW, DC shows would benefit from doing stuff like that.
I mean, probably not.
I think they would, because then the story would be compressed and you'd be able to, do different things.
Yeah, but it'd still be the same garbage.
Well, it depends. I guess if you get new writers.
Yeah. If you've got new writers, then fine, yeah.
I know season 7 of Arrow got a bunch of new writers. They kicked off Mark Guggenheim and was like, "You're out of here."
Who got rid of Mark Guggenheim?
Yeah, they got rid of Mark Guggenheim. He's not the
Really?
showrunner anymore for Arrow season 7. It might actually be better. It might be the best season next year or this year. One of the things though is that Stephen Amell needs to stop going on Twitter, stop trying to provoke people, because I know he's trying to defend the people he works with, and I appreciate that he protects people, and you know what I'm saying. I appreciate the kind of what am I thinking? The kind of like loyalty he has to the people he works with, but he's got to stop provoking people on Twitter. That's just a bad way of going about things.
Nah, because the dude who plays Ravi in iZombie does it all the time, and it's fucking hilarious.
But
it's so funny. It's so funny.
I mean, I'm sure he goes. I don't know how Ravi does it, but Amel kind of like the difference is people don't necessarily hate on iZombie for being different from the comics, and he like
no, but like they just normally go for like I can't remember what's his name. Is it Kahuli? Something like that.
Yeah, Ruhel Cooley. Yeah, he's such a cool guy.
Yeah, that's one.
He's always on.
People go for him for every little thing he does, and he's just like, "Fuck off." He proper goes in on people. It's so funny.
See, here's the recent tweet. You might find it differently once you hear this tweet, but Stephen Amell has good loyalty. I'll give him that. He's always like, he goes on Twitter and people are talking about how like they hate Felicity and stuff like that, and how it's not canon to Green Arrow, and he's all like, well, they are canon, so get over. He's just kind of like trying to get the haters out of the way. I don't think he really means like the Green Arrow.
I was gonna say they're talking about two different things there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's different from what he's saying than what Rahu says, but I still think like it's kind of a waste of time. I don't know.
I mean, different strokes for different folks.
They're gonna hate your show. They're gonna hate it. They're not gonna end up liking it. I mean, I've never seen somebody hate a show and then eventually like it.
I was like that with Skins.
Really? You hated it? And then I don't think I've ever done that.
When Skins first came out, I watched a couple of episodes, could not get into it, hated it. Gave it until like season 3 came out, watched everything and loved it. One of the best shows ever made.
Cool.
It's just like complete polar opposite opinion on the show.
Alright. I think that's gonna do it for Lucifer. Gone on a pretty long time about like Netflix and all that. So, you ready, Mitch, for the shows of the week?
Yes.
We are gonna start off with Westworld and kind of the penultimate episode of Westworld. Season 2, Episode 9, The Vanishing Point. How did you feel about this one? Because I had chills. I literally had chills.
I need to rewatch this because I had a bunch of fucking orangutans next door watching the England game when this was going on,
yeah,
so I didn't really get a chance to hear it.
Yeah.
And it's like, calm the fuck down, guys. It's a leather ball into a net. It's nothing to get excited about.
Yeah.
Like, you're cheering on millionaires. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
But so kind of watching this wasn't the best experience. So I was dipping in and out of it. But yeah. I'm not. I can't really say if it did or not, but at this point, they should have really started wrapping stuff up.
Yeah,
and I don't feel like they have started to do that yet.
That's what I've seen some people kind of talk about the show in terms of like they're kind of adding these things in late to the game.
Yeah, so this time last season, we were getting answers on a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
like the last 3 episodes was just all answers for the season. This one is just like, are we really only going to have it in one episode?
Of course we're talking spoilers. I would say this episode gave me chills because of in that one moment of when he's like being bandaged up by his daughter, by Emily, and then the guys come in and they're talking. My mind went in so many different like directions of like where this could go. It almost reminded me of what did I think of, like it was kind of like that meme of the guy from The Hangover, and he has Zach Galifianakis. He has like all the
he's doing the equation stuff.
Yeah, like that was my head in those moments because I was thinking, how many ways could it go? Could it be she's a robot, he's a robot, this and that? Like, is she not even his daughter? Like, so many things that like she gonna kill him. And then when he said like the whole Ford thing, and he still thinks it's a game, my mind just went blank. He shot her, and I just had chills. I was like, I can't believe he did that. I honestly didn't see that coming.
It was so anticlimactic.
No, to me, I didn't see that coming.
Because his thing, he just shoots and goes, and that's it. It's like, is she really dead?
Yeah.
Like, did you just like? Is it a
robot? I was stunned. Like,
it was just so quick. It was a good. I say anticlimactic. It was a good moment, but it's just like, really?
It just like did that just happen?
You just did that, like just out of nowhere. It's like, oh, you're clearly. It's just like, oh no, she's not. She's actually a real person. So them.
See, to me, because Ford says that one thing of like one final game, which I love Anthony Hopkins' voice.
He's so good.
He's so good at stuff like that. But when he says one final game, I almost thought the wife, I think Julia was her name, was a host.
Yeah.
I almost thought that. Yeah. I think it's weird that like, because that whole kind of like section of like when he goes downstairs, she finds a profile card and she goes to commit suicide. Like that almost happened. Like it's that part I was weirded out about because it was just too fast and kind of too convenient.
Well, that's kind of like when he kills the daughter. It's just like, really? It was so quick.
A little different parts because I guess so. But to me,
like normally when something like that happens, there's a bit of like. You get like the ambiance of the scene and like you get the music and everything, and like they normally do something to indicate, but they didn't. It just happened.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It just felt strange.
A handful of people died this episode.
They did.
Yeah, they did. I honestly didn't think.
Not Maeve. Maeve is still kicking.
I thought she was dying. I thought her, Emily, and Teddy were all dead this episode. Teddy, I honestly didn't see coming until I think it was this episode when he like is about to shoot the Ghost Nation guy, and then he realized he doesn't. It goes into the like, yes, there's certain parts of this episode where it's like, oh, they're just inserting stuff at the last minute, but the whole kind of thing I love about the show and like the theme of it was like choices. Are they really ours to begin with? And Teddy makes the choice to not kill that guy because he almost was programmed to do it. He basically was. He was like, everything's like you have to kill people, survival. And then he somehow was able to choose to not be able to, and that kind of like awoke in him, I guess, and he killed himself. I I just still don't get the wife thing. Like, that's just so, like, okay, she committed suicide. Like, I thought there was something more to it. But it's just so simple. It's super simple. I don't...
But, I was going to say something then.
Huh.
I think the whole, like, when Teddy he shoots himself, that's like the first emotion Dolores has shown all season.
I agree. I agree. Kind of
that's not like I'm an edgy blonde girl now. It's just like, okay.
Yeah, and kind of when Arnold, like, starts up Teddy and he sees her.
Yeah.
Like, that's stuff that you probably could have teased in, like, last season, and it would have been, like, it feels like a lot of, like, they are inserting things for the sake of inserting things. But I already saw the preview for next episode, so it's like, certain things, who we're going to meet up. Did you see it? Did you happen to see it?
See what? Sorry.
The preview for next episode of like.
No, not yet. No, because the preview's shown on the after show over here, and I haven't watched that yet because you're doing this.
Okay. Do you want me to kind of like give you a scene that's in there? Or
I mean,
spoilers.
You can go over it if you want.
Okay, so there is a part where Dolores and William, they meet each other and they're like, "This is gonna end." Right.
With that.
So, but also at the very end of this episode, doesn't William like figure out if he's a host? That almost like makes you realize he is a host, but at the same time, it's probably going to be he isn't.
See, I don't know. Right, I need to ask you something because I wasn't sure when I was watching it. They scan the back of his head before he shoots all the guards or the people. Right. What does that machine say anything?
Yeah, it says he's the boss.
Oh, it says he's the boss. Ah.
Yeah, you think it was like if it was red, it would have been like you're not who you are. Or something like that. I mean,
yeah, because I was like, is that them scanning? Like, is that a host scan thing?
No,
what the fuck is this? And it's like, oh. Yeah.
I think everybody has like a tracker or something in them or whatever. Because it was also made so much sense that the way they scanned everybody's minds was the hat.
Yeah.
I was like, that's pretty good. There's just a lot of weird things to this episode that I enjoyed, but at the same time was like, it's so weird because is he a host? Is he not? Which is the better way? Is it better to have him be a host because it makes sense, or is it better not have him be a host and it makes because one makes logical sense, one makes emotional sense.
I think either way, it's not great. Like I don't think one's particularly better than the other.
But there's one like that makes different for different reasons because like logically, if he's a host, like it makes sense to why he did all these certain things, but emotionally of like his arc and everything it makes better for if he's not.
Because even if he is a host, there's still the emotional impact of I'm not real. None of my life actually happened really.
True.
Then you have all that. So if he's not a host, then he's like shit. I actually did just kill my family. Like it's not really good for him either or.
So the thing about this is like he's a really interesting character, but they don't really show you he's interesting till like now.
Yeah,
this was the most interesting thing about him, in my opinion.
I thought he was interesting last season.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. This season.
I wouldn't ever say he hasn't been an interesting character. They kind of dragged his story out a bit longer than maybe they should have.
I think he's interesting for sure.
And it's like he has to be a host because a man that age would have died by now.
Yeah, he definitely looks
especially
super old.
After being shot that many times, he would have died. Because
I remember the whole thing was like, what if like he puts his wife to rest and then he goes into the tub to kill himself, and that was the whole thing. That's why I just thought it was super simple of like, his wife just does it.
Yeah.
It's just so weird. Like it's like there's no conspiracy theories about it. It's just like, yeah, that's that they told you it happened and it happened. There's no like this and that. So I don't know. It's very weirded out by this episode. I very much love the last episode more, but this one has a lot of interesting
It's hard to top last week's. That was a masterpiece. That was just like perfect.
That was the one where they sent it to the Globes and they're like, give us an award for this.
Give us an Oscar. Be the first TV show for an Oscar.
Yeah, there was like, before we go into the next show, because I know you want to rewatch this. I'm probably going to rewatch it before the next week's final episode, but there's somebody brought up the theory, because I know you don't watch Rick and Morty, but there's this whole kind of theory in fiction, and also they do it in Rick and Morty, where a universe is built solely to manage something, to provide power for something. So like in Rick and Morty...
You are aware that I've watched all of Rick and Morty.
Oh, you have? I thought you don't like it.
I mean, I kind of hate watch it to an extent.
Oh, well, that's what you call it, Rick and Morty.
No, I was the only one that talked about Rick and Morty when season 2 finished on here.
Oh, I still swear you didn't. I thought you didn't like it, so that's why I was like, I assumed you didn't watch it.
As I said, I kind of hate watch it, but I've watched all of Rick and
Okay, I
Morty.
didn't know you watched all of it, my bad. But you know that episode I'm talking about, right?
Where they go
prevent the
down to
power
microverse and then the other microverse, and they just keep going and going and going.
Some people are saying that's what Westworld is. That's what this whole. That's way too big.
Possibly.
Wouldn't that be way too much?
I think that's kind of not really what they're doing. I think that's.
Yeah, I know. Me either.
I can see it happening. Like something like that would fit. I think you're way off the mark.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't come up with the theory. I saw that theory and I was like, oh, it's kind of interesting. But I don't know how much I believe in it. But
I wouldn't put stock in it, to be honest.
So what last thing do you want to mention about this episode?
Nothing really. I need to watch it again.
Okay.
So.
All right, we'll go on to the next one. My Hero Academia. Season 3, episode 10.
It was the big one.
The climax.
It was the big one.
I know I mentioned this. Oh, good.
I'll say this episode hurt me deep.
Oh yeah, me too, definitely.
I knew it was coming, and it still hurt. It's just like, oh.
I love the twist that that's the Master's grandson.
Yeah, I can never remember the kid's name.
Shigarami.
Is it Shigaraki?
Shigaraki.
Yeah.
I say Shigarami.
Because I always want to say it begins with a T, but I'm thinking of Toshinori, who is All Might.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, that's not. Yeah. Shigaraki, yeah. But that's something I completely forgot about until the episode happened. Completely forgot that twist happened in the same episode. So I was like, oh shit.
I know I mentioned this in the Discord, but there's almost a way that you could have been tempted to have All Might die. I'm glad they didn't. Yeah. I think it works out better this way because you got to have that silver lining of hope and kind of make it different than the rest. And I say this with Get Out and certain other things because Get Out you could have had it where he gets arrested and stuff like. Oh, you never saw the movie, but you could have had it where
I saw Get Out.
Oh, you did? Okay, never mind. I thought you didn't. We could have had it where he got arrested, right? And the bad guy kind of wins. And they did have that, and they filmed that ending. Yeah. But Jordan Peele makes this whole thing where you just got to give the audience and the people watching a little bit of hope at the end. You got to make it dark, but give them some hope.
Well, not to say spoilers, but Infinity War does the exact same thing.
Yeah, you make it dark, but you give them some hope. But
that's why it has the after credit scene it has.
Yeah, so that's with this one, like I said, you almost could have been tempted. He would have died, and Offerman would have won, and they would have did this whole thing of somebody has to now they're they're remembering him. They have a funeral and stuff like that. You almost could have been tempted to go that way, but I think making it where he wants to be there for Midoriya is so much more appealing.
Well, they do a similar, or they do that twice. Where it's they subvert what you're really expecting.
Yeah.
Because it would have been so easy just to have a massive, giant fuck off fight between these two.
Yeah.
And go all full Dragon Ball Z with it, and it's not. The fight's 4 punches long,
maybe 5, if anything.
If that. So they really go. It goes with the show. It just goes a different direction.
Yeah, because you're right. They could have. Dragon Ball Z is known for that's the show, and so I'm not gonna put it against it because that's the show. That's why we call it Dragon Ball Z because it's all about the big fights and stuff like that. But with this one, it went smart with it because being used to Dragon Ball Z, somehow they always get more power, even though when they're out of power, they always get more power. And this one, he still has that little bit of power left, but he doesn't get more. He just uses it in a smart way.
Yeah. He
goes from the right to the left and stuff like that. I was like, oh, that's so smart.
There's an actual limit in this show.
Yeah, and that's I think what can differentiate between many other shows, the limits you provide to these characters and kind of what they're able to do, what they're willing to do and stuff like that, and what makes it different.
Yeah. There's also, fun fact, there's something, I don't know if you noticed it in here.
Huh.
There's a little nugget of information with what All Might does at a certain point that kind of...
Oh, it tells you what's coming to come?
Not what's to come, but should tell you how they can subvert a certain problem they have.
Well, you want to explain to me? I don't remember. I watched it Saturday, so...
literally right as he's about to do the United States of Smash.
Is that what it's
Right.
called?
Yeah.
Oh
Didn't
god.
you know that?
No.
He literally says United States of Smash.
I did not hear that,
So it's
actually.
kind of like there's going to be some porn parodies of that one. But yeah, he sacrifices his right arm
Yeah.
to use his left.
Yeah.
But then you go back to his right arm again, and it's all like the whole
Black.
Midori,
Yeah,
black and
yeah,
blue.
yeah.
And then
Yeah.
as it then just fixes itself.
So he's able to heal himself.
Yeah. So Midori is doing all this stuff. At some point,
He's gonna be able to heal himself.
yeah.
So even him like saying you're not gonna be, if you do it again, you're not gonna be able to. I don't know if I necessarily like that too much, because that might.
Well, here's the thing, like you've introduced that element. I don't think it's a case of like, oh, we can just do that. Like, I think you have to be at a certain.
Because that's almost too OP. Yeah, you have to have, if you give it a threshold in a way where you can heal. It might take months to do it, right?
Yeah, but still, that's just a little nugget they put in there. Now that it can do that, you have to use that again at some point.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
You can't, like, with knowing that it can do that, you can't have Midoriya. You can carry on the way he's going, where he's virtually about to kill himself. But at some point, you have to.
And I'm sure to be able to unlock, like I'm sure they're going to be a thing to unlock more of the power. He's going to have to use 100% of his power. That kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Use it all until you have none left, and then fund the rest.
See, I haven't read that far.
I don't know,
but I'm pretty certain there is a point where he might get to that.
So, but
only for a little bit.
The thing to note is, All for One, not dead.
No, he's not dead. No, he's
not
alive.
dead. He is very much alive. So this episode reveals a lot of stuff too. Of like, so he's been alive for like a century, maybe, because he's gone through a lot of One for Alls. You know?
Well, he's the one that made
One for All. Yeah, and he gave it to somebody, which is a little weird. He put different quirks together and gave it to somebody, of like how you're able to pass it down, and also the super strength and all that.
We find that out. I don't know if it's going to be next episode,
because I need a little bit more like explaining.
Because he has to, All Might has to have that conversation with Deku.
So is he completely done? He has no more. This is his last hurrah. All Might. He has no more power.
The fight finishes, and he's got his hand in the air, and he just transforms, doesn't he?
Oh, I guess he does, right? Maybe, yeah.
That's the extent he can do.
just
that's
the
literally.
hand.
He has he has the little flame. That flame is just like a little glowing ember.
Yeah.
At this point,
it's still barely there.
Yeah. Like you never really lose One for All or All for One. You just kind of.
Isn't that going to get you confused a bit? One for all, all for one. Like at some point you just.
I'm fine saying it, but I was fine until they fucking brought in All for One. It's like I had to think about which way around it goes now.
Yeah, me too.
Just like, is it One for All or is it All for One?
Yeah, but you were saying?
No, I was just saying that like I don't think you ever really get rid of it. You just have you have it there. You just can't do anything with it.
So, Gran Torino is the master of Toshinari's master, right?
Yeah, and also Toshinari's master.
Oh yeah, well yeah, it passed down.
He trained when.
Yeah, well, like similar to Jiraiya trained Naruto's dad, and he trained Naruto. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's a way to help me figure this out, because some of the stuff it's like I'm still confused about, because I'm just so like shocked at how just in the moment I am. With this
it was a really well done episode.
Oh yeah,
like they handled it really fucking well.
And I just don't know if there's going to be the moment of Midoriya versus All for One, or is it going to be Midoriya versus Shigaraki. I don't know. Again, I don't think I ever got that far. I think actually, I might have overestimated how far I got in the manga. I think I've only really just got past the next arc. I can't. Which is probably going to be this season.
Yeah, I need to see season 4 to remember it, like to know if I actually went past it or not. But what's coming up is really good. There's an interesting thing happens. with the next lot.
Yeah, because this is like the main climax of it, and in the rest of the season is gonna be like some stuff to introduce for next season, and more like gaining the powers from Midoriya and all that, and like, or not gaining the powers, but more him like learning how to use it. So I very much love the back half of the season because it's like has to keep you relaxed a bit after what just happened.
It kind of it's. I'm pretty certain what happens next is the preliminary license exam.
Yeah. That's
how,
still
like,
such a cool idea. Like that they have to have a license.
Like how you have your driving test, you always have your prelim license and all that. You have that, and think of the sports festival where you had different classes, but this time I think it's different schools as well.
Yeah.
So you see a lot more people you see that the higher years in UA as well.
So you think it's gonna be a test and only a certain amount of people get to have a license per year?
Yeah.
Like an exam, like it reminds me of like the tuning exams, like in Naruto or certain.
It's.
Oh no, because only one. Well, no, there's a difference because in that one, if you lost but people still thought you were, excelled at it, you could still be that. In this one,
that was how the entrance exam for UA was anyway, wasn't it?
Oh, true.
Midoriya got one robot. He still got in.
That's true. So it might be the same thing with the license in this way.
The schools the exams get tougher as they go along.
I still love that sports festival. I watch clips all the time.
It was I'm constantly watching that one shot of what's his name? Ice and Fire Boy.
Oh, Todoroki, my dude.
Yeah, that one scene of him using that fire, I constantly watch that. It's just so well done.
I'm interested to see because last season they focused more on Todoroki with the sports festival, and then with Stain, and this season was more Bakugo and kind of.
We haven't really had a focus on Bakugo yet.
No, I think we will. But you can easily tell that Deku's still there with them, so he relates to Todoroki. There's Bakugo and stuff like that, and they slowly start building their characters up more because they build up Deku the most because he is the primary one, but the other ones they're slowly building up more, and which I am excited to see the kind of focused central episode of Bakugo because I just like him as a character now. I think he's really good.
Hey, Chosin the light.
Yeah, I just after that when he first gets captured, I'm like now I see it. Now I can see why people like this character. Especially when he's like they said they saved him. It's like y'all didn't save me. That was just the only time I got to get out. I thought it was funny.
He's such a good character.
Yeah.
But no, this episode it was just so good.
A lot of things to like about it. Very dialogue heavy, but still that's what makes it great.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, it's why it works. You don't need these two guys destroying a city. It's just unnecessary.
And there's the point of they won't because All Might won't let it happen. He needs to save the people.
Exactly.
Man, it gets me every time when I see that part of they're watching him on TV and then he's losing. It's like he never loses.
Yeah.
It's like just their walls breaking down.
That's what they really focused on. It wasn't focusing on the fight. It was focusing on what he means to people.
Yeah.
It's why he's the best Superman we've got at the minute.
I very much did like that part. For some reason, it brought me back to the memories of watching that old Digimon movie when they're in the computer and everybody's watching me in the computer. They're like, "You got this, yeah!" Like everybody's just cheering.
Let's not talk about that.
Why? That was such a good movie.
Because Digimon sucks.
Nah, I like the first two seasons.
Sucks.
The first two seasons are really good. I'll argue the first two seasons are really good. I like the old movies too. I still have the VHS. So yeah, anything else about this episode?
No, I could just watch it all day. Really.
Yeah,
I've already seen it twice. It's just really good.
I've seen it once and then seen clips of certain parts of it. Yeah, there's this thing where I love going to YouTube and finding a clip of a scene that I love in that show, and then reading what other people have to say about it. Just because I love seeing if people kind of feel the same way about it, or maybe somebody has a different view to it.
Yeah, that's when you get the spoilers though, so be careful.
A little bit, yeah, you gotta watch out with that. But I don't know, it's just with Westworld was one of them I did them with, and there's another show I did it with. Because I rewatched Coco last night, and then I never did the whole thing where I went to go watch the ending scene to that on YouTube and kind of see what people had to say about it. So Yeah.
What was the ending of Coco again?
Kind of, the dad and who's the real dad and
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then the grandma and then the song, like, still so good, man. Still
Uh,
so good. Glad that movie won an
I'm
Oscar.
I'm we- I'm weird on Coco. I really enjoyed that as a
It's
movie,
kind of
but it's
predictable
like
though.
it's that's the thing that lets it down. It's really predictable, and it wasn't as good as Moana.
I mean, I guess to me, I favorite Coco more because of the
I
relatability
mean,
factor.
it's literally your
It's my
life,
culture.
so
Yeah, it's literally
uh,
we literally do the things they do where you put up the pictures and you let
so
the
what
spirits
is the
walk in.
afterlife? What is the afterlife like? No.
Oh, I mean, it's not like I've gone to. I mean, I guess according to the movie, I
How?
have.
Oh, so you're saying that your story's made up?
Oh man, that's.
The lies, the autobiography is fiction.
I love the guy trying to disguise himself as Frida Kahlo because Hector is I don't want to. I mean, it's a spoiler show, so it's like you've seen it. I don't know.
If you cared about Coco, you'd have seen it by now.
Facts.
Let's be real.
Hector, shout out to Hector. Somebody on Twitter for Father's Day say, "Happy Father's Day to everybody besides Ernesto de la Cruz."
That's funny.
Yeah, I was like, that's a good one. All right, last one. Cloak and Dagger, season 1, episode 3.
On to the best show on TV. Fun fact.
This one, I was a little bit more weirded out with this episode. I don't know about you.
It's really weird, but at the same time, it's really fucking good.
I enjoyed it.
I like the idea of like what is a hope and what is a fear. You know, because she's seeing his hopes, but at the same time, his hopes aren't particularly nice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So like, though that I know it was weirded out because of like they do the mirroring stuff and stuff like that, but at the same time, it was really good because of what you just said of like how each they see each other and stuff like that, and kind of what it means to their character and there's certain...
Also, I can't remember. I think it's the executive producer who said a lot of the stuff that happens in this episode gets paid off in the finale. So if there's some stuff you got a lot of questions of, you're meant to have questions because it's at the minute it's kind of meaningless. It's just there to be there. So
yeah,
just wait till the end and we'll get answers.
Yeah. What was your favorite moment in this episode?
Oh, I don't know. It's probably the hopes and fears stuff. Like even though
really
how
good.
weird it was, like him in like the Renaissance outfit and all this stuff. It's just like I can't put a finger on why he was dressed like that, but it's just really well done. No, but yeah.
I'd have to agree because I was a little confused in the beginning, and then after talking about it or thinking about it, I kind of realized what it was all about because I was like, what is it? So she's seeing that he wants to kill the guy, and he's seeing that she just always runs away. And I guess you're right in a sense that he hopes for justice, right? He wants justice, and he sometimes the bad ways he's getting his own justice in a bad way, but there's a better way. And for her, like she fears. I think from my understanding, she fears of what happened. Or what could have been, or family. I don't know necessarily what she fears.
Well, Tandy's just scared of attachment and getting close.
That's what it is.
Really, isn't she? Like, no, she's constantly running away. Yeah. It's like I can't fix things. I'm just gonna leg it.
And I think the part that really gets to me, the specific back-to-back scenes or shots of the what's the guy's name? Tyrone.
Yeah.
Tyrone as a kid by himself with all those kind of
basketball.
No. Well, that one was a good one because like he had hoped the brother would stay and stuff like that. Like I love that stuff. But the one where he's inside like this office and there's all these checks and there's probably I don't know what the checks were all about, but I think it's because like for his lost and stuff like that.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
And then he was by himself, nobody around, just like nothing but checks and stuff like that. And she has a lot of people in her life. And like she keeps running away.
Scene when she's in the church and she's doing the little like the wine and the body. Oh, that scene was so good.
Yeah,
and those the current boyfriend and he just like smiles and it's so good.
Those two back to back really got to me because of like he just wants somebody, but he has nobody. She doesn't want anybody, but she has everybody.
Yeah, they're literally opposites. One's like one.
I love aspects of that and kind of how they work well to each other. Like in the very beginning, where they always are teleporting to each other, like they're always gonna like they have this connection, and we know why. But still,
Also,
the show's very smart.
Baby Tyrone wears his brother's hoodie as a safety blanket, and so does she. It's the same hoodie, obviously.
Oh yeah, you're right. Oh, that's good.
Oh my heart.
There's levels to this in my opinion, and I
There,
think
there is.
there's levels to this, and I think you might be inclined to say the show isn't that deep because of like the network freeform and kind of like the characters. But I think if you gave it a chance and you look more into certain of the scenes, you'll find that there are levels to this.
Yeah, it's a really easy show to write off if you haven't watched it. Like just from the trailers alone, a lot of people are like, it looks like
I agree.
teeny drama crap." And it's
But
like it's kind of teeny drama, but it's teen drama from a more like mature angle.
And that's why I said like like the first couple episodes where there's certain cheesy moments, but like other than that, like maybe 10% certain cheesy moments of the episode.
You know, they're called fucking Cloak and Dagger. You can't, superheroes are inherently cheesy.
Yeah.
Anything with superpower is cheesy. You can't avoid it.
But they really get into the personality of these characters and kind of not a street, but a grounded vibe to them of like what their families and kind of like it's still the detective. I thought she wasn't going to talk this episode.
No, in the interview I watched with the EP of the show. Yeah. That was an intentional choice. Like that wasn't like there wasn't like a weird decision behind it.
No, I could tell that like there's a reason behind, and it was like to keep her a mystery. Was she for Tandy or was she against her?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't even anything like that. It was to subvert a female police stereotype and all that. They're trying to really subvert and do opposites with this show.
I mean, I'm all for the show, like being in power and all that. Like, let it be. I just think it's a really good show, like well written. I don't know who the showrunner is on this, and like.
Oh, I can't remember the name.
Credit to him and kind of like credit to everybody. I would say.
Yeah.
The show is definitely 10 episodes.
Yeah, props for like actually making New Orleans a character in this.
Oh yeah, so because sometimes you could get away from that. I hate that.
Yeah. It's kind of the Luke Cage route where like Harlem is a character, like New Orleans in this is a character. We don't know the extent of that character yet, but it's going to be playing a part.
Also, shout out to the Discord for one person saying they had to actually pay for alcohol.
Yeah, it's just like, really? Like, okay, you went to some tight as fuck parties, but whatever.
Yeah, like that was a funny moment. I'm trying to so since they're not gonna have basketball scenes every episode, I'm gonna do the kind of like the teen scene watch of like how real is that, like, so like them like buying alcohol is like that's not really real. How like real, I don't know what teen aspect of this episode was. What was the teen aspect you would say?
I don't know.
Maybe him going on that walk with the girl and like they're like talk about the voodoo stuff.
Is that a real teen scene though?
No.
Do people actually do that? Like, I don't think they do. Maybe well, over here they don't anyway. Like, I doubt.
I feel tourists do stuff like that.
I mean, it is a tourist thing, but I don't think the way they were doing it, like the whole flirting thing. I don't think that.
Yeah, I don't think that's a thing either.
No, that's a TV thing.
Which is kind of funny. I always find moments like that funny, where it's like, who you try to kid?
This thing, if I didn't like that girl character,
it wouldn't work.
Be bad.
Yeah,
it wouldn't work.
A lot of this show wouldn't. Well, some of this, not a lot. I'm not gonna say like, 'cause she's not in every scene, but part of the show wouldn't work if you don't like at least kind of like think she's an okay character in terms of what she's trying to help with Tyrone and her reasonings and stuff like that. If you didn't agree with any of that or make it seem it could work in your own mind, then it's not going to work certain moments.
Like they haven't really given anyone a reason to care about her yet, but they haven't given anyone a reason to not care and not like her. She's just this like little, I'm a happy girl.
I got to ask you, at the very end with the voodoo lady, that's Tyrone she's making, right?
Yeah, that was Tyrone.
Why? Do we not know?
As I said, there's some stuff in this episode that is completely irrelevant until the season finale.
Isn't she from the comics? Because I don't, like I said, I'm not the biggest Marvels fan, but not especially not the biggest Cloak and Dagger.
I don't know if she is. I know the mute cop, quote unquote, she is.
Okay.
She something happens to her, and I wonder if they're gonna do this. If they're actually going to do something with, or do the thing with her in this. She's from the comics, the Reverend's from the comic, or the Father's from the comics.
Yeah.
obviously Tandy Tyrona. I'm trying to think if anyone else is. I need to check. I can't remember the top of my head.
Because
I know
that part, like, teases kind of like the whole, like, there's something more than just these characters figuring out who they are. There is a bigger story to it.
There's gonna be some kind of voodoo playing a part
Yeah.
in these.
Because, I mean, this show could have been that, of just these characters figuring them out, and at the end, like, they help each other in certain ways, and they do. But there is that bigger backstory, or that bigger story of, like, somebody's after them, or somebody knows that they're getting together, you know?
Yeah.
And that's going to be teasing probably throughout the season, and then that'll maybe be a season 2 thing once they figure out, like, that they're meant for each other and that this is the right, like, way to go. Like, they have to be together, and not even in a relationship wise, but more so
I
kind
imagine
of powers.
I imagine they're probably going to figure that out this season.
Yeah, I assume so too. So, yeah.
No, because they've already run into each other 3 times now. There'll be something else, but
what other thing about this episode?
It's just really well done.
I agree. I feel like it's kind of like the Shield thing, right? People who are watching it love it, and people who don't like it are the ones like that haven't seen it.
Yeah, it also got like the highest like ever freeform opening in ratings.
Shout out to Marvel.
Yeah.
Shout out to Marvel.
So I think it was only like 800K or something like that. It's not like
though.
It's not gonna break any like ratings records, but it got for freeform anyway. Somehow, like I'm just like I don't want to say I'm surprised at how good it is. I'm just surprised at the direction they've taken.
Yeah.
It's like, you got the typical, oh look, we've got like premature powers, all this stuff, and there's the added twist with the voodoo stuff, and it's actually, I would never have thought to do that. But then again, they've always been in New York, so why would you ever think to do that?
True. I think I'm excited to see kind of more what kind of part New Orleans is going to make. New Orleans, however you want to say, like how big of a part the city is going to play in terms of the culture, the voodoo stuff and stuff like that. Because I'm sure if you're from there and you really enjoy the show, you're like, oh hey, yeah, that is like kind of what my city's about. You're very excited your city's being showed off in this way. And I wouldn't even say it's a bad light; it's a good light.
Yeah, I imagine it's going to play a bigger part for Tyrone.
Yeah.
Just because like Voodoo, the Dark Force, I can see that connecting more than like the Light and
the Light Force. I still think that's what it's called, the Light Force.
I have no idea what it's called. I don't think he's got a name actually, so
that's why I'm still calling it just the Light Force because it's just simple to put. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything else we want to mention, or we just kind of want to round it out.
No, you can round it out. It's just a really good episode. Like, Thursday's a good day for TV now. So.
It really is. I keep forgetting this on Thursdays. I keep thinking it's on Fridays, and then when it's Thursdays, my TV time app tells me like Cloak and Dagger in 1 hour. I was like, oh yeah, it's on Thursdays, but I still watch it on Hulu, so it's like I watch it on Fridays technically.
I mean, I technically watch it on Fridays.
Yeah, shout out to Hulu for having Cloak and Dagger. I almost thought they weren't gonna have it, which I was gonna be sad, but glad to have it. That's how I watch everything. So, all right.
Fun fact: there will be a Runaways crossover. I bet you anything.
I mean, it makes sense because they're running away from home. What if they run into New Orleans?
Or what if they meet in the middle? Go to Texas. There you
yes. What city would they go to? Texas. Which city has a lot of culture and history around it? San Antonio.
It would probably be Austin.
Probably. Some would say Houston, maybe, but San Antonio has the most history and culture around it because that's kind of like the main thing about it. Like that's like what they market San Antonio as. Like it's about history, family, and culture, and kind of diversity.
Isn't Austin trying to be like, oh look,
Austin's
cultural
like music? Austin's music.
Yeah.
Austin's the music place, and plus the capital's there, so that might be something to play with. All I need is one mention of San Antonio. That's all I need. I just want my city to be represented.
That's if they go there.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, they could go to Alabama or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they could go to New York.
Nah, they'll avoid
too far.
New York. Yeah.
All right.
But yeah,
that's gonna do it for this week. Make sure to Google us. Find us on Twitter, Mish692, Halftime Joe, and we'll see y'all next time.
Toodles.